Okay. Good day, ROFFS analyst James here, and it is currently July 18th. Hope everyone had a good weekend. Today we will be taking a quick look at the ocean conditions that you likely would have encountered if you went offshore this past weekend from Cape Hatteras down to the Florida Keys and in the Bahamas using ROFFS sea surface temperature and ocean color imagery. One of the more interesting oceanographic features that has impacted the southeast Gulf Stream areas has been a clockwise rotating eddy formation along the eastern side of the Gulf Stream heading towards the Blake Plateau from offshore of Daytona and Jacksonville to the southeast of Savannah, as you can see here. As a result of this clockwise rotating eddy, we've observed a relatively long eddy filament along the western side of the Gulf Stream over the ledges near the Sapelo Scarp and heading southwest into the Triple C Mounts Tuna Grounds area off of Jacksonville and south. Several relatively large Gulf Stream eddy formations continue to impact the ledges offshore of Georgetown and Cape Fear and Lookout up to Cape Hatteras. These eddy formations continue to form just south of the Georgetown Hole area, moving offshore between the Beaufort Valley and Charleston Valley and heading northeast off of each of the capes before heading out to sea off of Cape Hatteras towards the point. Heading south along the Florida coast, we continue to observe several eddy formations moving northwards from Miami and the Florida Keys. We recommend finding the blue to green blue to blended blue water mass boundaries. As one eddy passes, another will follow to push favorable conditions back inshore. Occasionally, these groups of eddies can strengthen, as shown by one of these eddies moving north off of Miami. Several eddies combined to produce this larger eddy that pushed bluer water offshore of Miami, moving northwards off of Fort Lauderdale and such. Keep in mind we continue observing the Gulf Stream moving out over 400 to 500 fathom depths offshore of Key West and Marathon, as you can see here, better shown in our ocean color imagery, before moving back into 150 to 300 fathom depths as you approach Isla Morada and Key Largo further east here. Staying in our ocean color imagery, we'll take a look at the Bahamas areas. One of the biggest features to note is a relatively large clockwise rotating eddy formation developing north of Abaco and Walker's Key. You can see this eddy formation is pulling some blended blue to blue-green water offshore just to the east of Walker's Key. As this develops, we anticipate some of this cooler, bluer water to move westward along the ledges to the east of Walker's Key. And you can see this cooler water moving west in our sea surface temperature imagery. Another feature to note in the Bahamas is a large clockwise rotating eddy formation east of Abaco and northeast of Eleuthera, as you can see here. This large eddy formation has been pulling some blue water along the coastline northeast of Eleuthera before moving offshore of Abaco. Remember, these ocean conditions are always changing, so be sure to head to ROFFS.com or call our office at 321-723-5759 to order updated analyses for each of these areas. Remember, our office hours are Monday through Friday, 9 to 7, and on Saturdays from 9 to 4. Have a good week.